In today's video, I want to show you how to solder properly. With this channel, what I'm hoping to do is look at making some circuits, building up kits, and in doing so, we're going to need to know how to solder. So I figure let's start from the basics and we'll talk about the best techniques for soldering, why Americans call it soldering, which I still don't understand, and how practice makes perfect. So what I show you here tonight or today, depending on when you're watching it, you'll need to practice this to get better and better over time. It's just a matter of practicing. Just make sure you apply the iron, the soldering iron, quickly to the thing that you want to heat and add solder to. Don't do the solder first and then iron. Use the soldering iron and then apply solder.
Hi, I'm Andrew. Welcome to the channel. Let's teach you how to solder, or as they say in North America, solder. I have no idea why they call it soldering. They spell it the same way we do, S-O-L-D-E-R-I-N-G, soldering. So what do you need for soldering or soldering? Obviously a circuit or the thing that you want to solder or solder. I'm just going to say soldering. We're in Australia. I'm not going to say soldering anymore. You'll need something to hold the wire firmly in place. You'll need solder. You may need a solder sucker to get rid of solder, some kind of a solder stand, and a soldering iron. So today we're teaching you how to solder. Soldering iron needs to be clean on the tip. So I'm just making sure that's clean. The solder itself, you can use various gauges. This has got flux embedded in the solder, and so I don't need to have separate flux. But the flux is there to have the solder adhere to the metal. Idea being that you touch the metal to the point where it is hot enough for the solder then to be applied, and then it sticks to the metal. So this is how you're supposed to do it. Heat it up and then apply the solder. And then you can see all that gas escaping. Don't breathe that in, it's quite dangerous. And there you can see that that's nicely tinned now. There's a little dollop which you can let it fall on the floor, that's fine. And it's as simple as that. That's how you solder. You've got to apply the heat first and then apply the solder. That's it. Simple as that. Practice makes perfect. Give that a go and you'll have hours of fun soldering. This is called a de-soldering tool. It's basically a suction pump. You plunge the plunger in. If I put my finger on the end and then press the button to make it suck, you'll see it'll suck all of the solder inside. So to use it, you do the same thing as you do with soldering. You apply it to the point where you need to heat, and then put the solder sucker close to the tip, and then let it release, and it sucks up the solder. There's not a lot of solder there, so you can't really see it sucking up very much. Simple as that. And then to resolder or solder, apply heat and then apply solder. You can see that little dollop there. Let me suck that up. Plunging, apply heat and suck. As simple as that. Practice makes perfect. So practice soldering whenever you can and you'll see immediate improvements with the more soldering that you do. So a lot of people make the mistake of holding the solder to the wire and then trying to apply the heat. They're not able to make proper contact with the wire, and then it stops the solder from melting and it overheats potentially components surrounding the wire. You're better off, holding the soldering iron on the point that you wish to have solder applied, and then carefully applying the solder onto the tip of the soldering iron, which then melts onto the wire. Don't do solder first and then solder. Put soldering iron first and then apply solder. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little demonstration on how to solder. Please like if you like the video, subscribe if you like the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.